What's up, YouTube? I thought I'd come on here, tell my story about my journey into Islam. Thought I'd open up, be nice and vulnerable with you guys. Just be myself. So I'm gonna go back, way back. I'm gonna get real deep. I'm gonna open up, tell you about some personal stuff and my journey into Islam, right? So I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right? In a bad home, just dark, violence, drugs, gangs, and the idea of God wasn't really, it wasn't like, that wasn't even an idea that came across my mind, right? God was not in our home, I will tell you that, right? It was just a very dark home, right? But there's one thing, like, still even being a kid, right? Even being a kid, I was always, like, thinking, like, where did the concrete come from? And one time, I don't remember when, oh man, hopefully you guys can hear me with all these cars out here. I'm in LA, by the way, in Northridge, I'm near LA. One time, there was like a tree, right? Like, check this out. I would just sit and ponder, like, where did this tree come from? Yo, did anyone else think like that when they were a kid? Like, where did this tree come from? Where did this tree come from? And it was almost as if the tree was like glitter to me. It was like gold before my eyes, and it was like a mirage, like a reflection, like the tree was trying to talk to me or something. It was trying to get my attention. And so I always followed those types of questions, like, where does this tree come from, right? Where did the streets come from? And at a younger age, now that I realize that was God trying to get my attention, like, hey, even though you're in this dark home, you're going through all this stuff, like, look at this glitter. I'm here. I'm always going to be here with you. And so it came in the form of trees as a child, right? Now, I was adopted, left at home, was adopted. That'll be a whole nother story for a whole nother time. One time I was like in and out of my adopted parents' home, and I struggled with suicide, guys. I'm not even playing. I'm gonna put the number right here. Anyone has any issues with that? Reach out to a family, reach out to a friend, you know? Shout out to all my friends. You know, if you're my true homie, you know my homies. Man, I love you guys. So I just want to say, yeah, I'm gonna put the number here. So if anyone's dealing with that, man, you're not alone, okay? Like, people care for you. Know that you're loved, right? Know that you are loved. So I was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 18 to 20, somewhere around there. I was just doing bad things, like bad things. That's a story for a whole nother time, right? But I was like in a bad time, and it was just very dark in my life. And I was like, you know what? Today's the day. I'm just gonna kill myself. Today's the day. You know, I was like hurting myself. Like, you're just a fucking bitch. Just kill yourself already. You know, I was just, yeah, those thoughts. And then I just remember hearing a voice. You know, I just have to tell people, I have to get this out of my soul, and I have to tell people, being in that dark place again as like a teenager, that's when I heard God's voice. Like, right, you know, I was getting ready, like, you know, like my mind was going, like, I'm ready to kill myself, right? and I heard God's voice just like up in the sky. It just like, I was like on my last step, man. I was on my last step. And that's, you know, I was like, man, my family doesn't love me. My adopted family doesn't love me. Like, what's the point of this life? And that's when I heard him say, I love you. And it was like in a tone like, almost like it's over. Like the worst is over. Like, because now you, like, I've always loved you. I've always been here. Look at all the things that I've given you. The stars, the moon, the trees. Right? So I would say this is like one of the first days that I like really saw the light in my life. Like what is light? What is dark? This day, hearing that voice, it was like the first time that I've seen the light. And like people sometimes around me were like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna pull a knife out of me? Like, maybe I would have, like maybe like a couple months ago. But this day that I found the light, it like really, this day transformed my life. And not just, it wasn't like instant, you know, it was like slowly over time, you know, it was slowly over time. Okay, so after this, I started like shedding some of my darkness, shedding some of the bad things that I was doing in my life. And, you know, started seeking, like started really like, you know, I gotta like pay attention to God, you know. And I traveled across alright, so that's where we're at, right? Okay, once I started, you know, I started like reading my Bible. It wasn't like, yo, diving in, I'm gonna read like the whole book right now. But, you know, I was like, I'm gonna read a verse, and then I'm gonna read 2 verses. And then, you know, I started reading more, started gaining more knowledge about Jesus, peace be upon him, upon, you know, the gospel. You know, as a kid I used to read like prophet books, like books on the prophet, like Moses, because I thought, I was like, man, these guys are so cool. And then I'm okay, so let's end there, right? 18 to 20, that's where we're at, right? Hold on, let me show you this view. I really like, let me see if this is, we'll go down more. Okay, and then so with my adopted family, we were like, I guess like going to a church was like something that was like in the tradition of the family. So we kind of just like went to church. Some of the ideas, I was like, I'm not really feeling these ideas. Like I didn't really feel like church, like I didn't feel it. It wasn't really good for my energy. It wasn't good for me personally, you know, for me. I wasn't feeling it like in my heart. Okay, so that's where we're at, like 18, 20, suicide, hearing God's voice, right? Now, let me show you these trees. California is so beautiful. I just love all of these trees. Yeah. All right, let's continue with this journey into Islam. All right, some of these like dark days, that'll be like like videos for another time, like how to conquer. I'm gonna make videos like how to conquer some of your darkness, right? Like, dude. Okay, so now here's back into my journey into Islam. So 4th grade, right? 4th grade, I walk into the classroom, and they sit all the students down, and they turn the TV on, and they're like, look at what just happened. And it was 9/11, right? So right away at a young age, I'm thinking like, whoa, this is scary. And then like the media and newspapers, they portrayed like Muslims as terrorists, right? So all my life since 4th grade, I believed that Muslims were terrorists. That's just the way that the media influenced my mind. Man, they tricked us. He tricked us. if you feel me where I'm coming from, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He tricked me, man. He tricked me into believing that Muslims were terrorists. It's okay. It's okay. If you guys know who I'm talking about, give him a hug, because he needs a hug, you know what I'm saying? You know who I'm talking about if you understand me on a deeper level. Now, I saw my first Muslim like live, right? So like all the time I saw a Muslim, it was always Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden. So I just associated Muslims are terrorists. Like they're scary, you know, these people are scary. Like I like feared them, you know, the media put that fear into me like, man, these guys are scary, they're terrorists, right? And my first time seeing a Muslim, I was like, this was around when I started reading the gospel, right? I was back in like 18 into 20, right? There was this girl who I went to school, and she became Muslim, and she's married to a Muslim man. And I saw this man, and I was like, you know, right away I'm thinking like, whoa, terrorists. And so I saw this man, and he comes out like, he has a nice warm smile on his face. You know, he looked like he could be like a teacher, or, you know, just looked like a regular citizen. You know, I was like, this guy's not a terrorist. So my mind was started like opening up a little bit there, and I was like, well, okay, this is different. And then I moved from Wisconsin to California, right? This was before joining the military. I lived with some people, and coming to California, I saw Muslims everywhere, man. Like Muslim men, Muslim women, and I was just like, whoa, like something so different about them, man. Like the way that they're conducting themselves. No one's perfect, right? It's just the way I viewed them now. I was like, man, these people are not terrorists, man. These Muslims, like the way that the women carry themselves, the way that the men conduct themselves, it was just like a little more disciplined. Yeah. Sometimes this video camera just turns off. So, like the Muslim women were always, you know, they carried themselves differently, and the Muslim men were conducting themselves differently. And I was just really interested, right? So I became very interested in like religions, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, meditations, right? And then I joined the military, right? Went overseas, and I don't remember. Oh, I walked into like an Islamic store, right? And someone gave me a Quran, and I didn't really read it. I was like, man, this is it. I don't understand what it's trying to tell me, right? It was like too confusing for me. And and so yeah, the Quran, right? I was on duty, right? There's this duty, ECP duty, right? If there's any Marines watching this, yeah, I was on ECP duty over in 3rd Intel Battalion, Camp Hansen, baby. So I'm overseas. I don't know, it's probably like 11 o'clock or something. It's nighttime. I'm on duty. There's nothing really to do on duty, right? You can't be like watching TV or something like that. You got to be alert. So I'm alert. I got a Quran on the desk or the table, whatever I'm sitting at. I'm just like flipping through the pages, and there's this gunnery sergeant. He comes in. He like kind of stops, and he's like, "Corporal Lukey, do I need to worry about you? Like, do we need to worry about you?" I was just so like blown away that he said that, because I was like, dude, like out of all the Marines in this battalion, I'm like the one you need to worry about like the least. I'm not out partying, I'm not out smoking and joking. Like, I just got promoted meritoriously, and I'm sitting on my duty, and I was like, dude, is this guy serious? Like, I'm reading a piece of literature. At the end of the day, I'm reading a piece of paper. I'm reading a book with words on it, and you're trying to like, oh, red alert, right? And just being around some of the Marines and hearing like, not all of them, right? Don't get, I've worked with some phenomenal Marines. Like, he's a sir now, but you know, Staff Sergeant P, you know, phenomenal Marine. Corporal Quatters, phenomenal Marine. Corporal Star, phenomenal Marine. Right? I work with some phenomenal Marines, right? So what I'm trying to say is I did hear some Marines like, yo, like Muslims are terrorists, let's kill Muslims. So it's kind of like, what the heck? I came to my second duty, right? Savannah, Georgia. And there was a sailor there who was Muslim. And he was cool, right? He was cool. And we would talk about God. Like we would not talk about God in the unit. We would like go jogging and like talk about God. And I would ask him questions about like Islam and Allah. Man. And he gave me his Quran, right? And I didn't really read it until I moved to California, until I got out of the military, started going to college. And right now, I'm going to college at LACC. I'm a theater major. And so I came out to LA and I finally opened the Quran, right? And the Quran is just, you know, if you listen to my story and what they were trying to, what I've been telling you, the Quran is the most beautiful, it's the most beautiful piece of literature, you know? And he really tricked me. He really tricked me into believing that Muslims were terrorists. That's okay, like I said though, you gotta give him a hug if you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I read the Quran and I was just like, man, he tricked me. Because once I read it, it was like the Quran gave my soul air. It was like, it gave me a new way of life. And it was as if I could see the stars again. I could see the meaning, a deeper meaning. Like I was always into meaning and purpose, but now it just got like deep. It got deep. Like the Quran, reading it, it sees like right through my soul. And it's that like God can see right through your soul. God can see your innermost thoughts. He knows what every species and what every animal needs. He knows that the ants, he provides, you know, it talks about how he provides for the ants and how he provides water and sustenance and food for every living creature on this planet. How the stars are, how the universe is decked out with starry constellations, and how the moon and the sun rotate perfectly with precision. That's the creator who made all of this. Right? And so I didn't convert right away. I just, you know, I kept reading. And I can't just say, no, I don't believe in the Prophet, because I do. And there's a lot of guidance and a lot of teachings. Peace be upon all the prophets. And so right now, it's about to be 7:30 pretty soon. Yeah, it's about to be 7:30. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get some water in my body and something to eat, because I haven't been drinking water or eating. We're in Ramadan right now. And it really opens my eyes to all the children out there that are starving, all the children that are thirsty. You know, they haven't done anything really too evil, you know? And they're like just begging for some water, and I feel really blessed, really lucky to be in America, right? Because God placed me here in this country. And you know, after reading the Quran, man, oh man, you know, when it comes my time to leave this earth, like, it won't even matter what's in my casket, but like when it comes time, just put a Quran in my casket. Like if my brothers or sisters see this, and there's like, or my, you know, my children, and it comes an argument like, oh, what does dad want in his coffin? Like, should we put what kind of coffin should we give him? Should we give him a really expensive coffin? Just put a Quran in my coffin, that's all, right? Because reading the Quran, it really helped me see like my position in the universe. It really helped me see that my soul is engraved in eternity, and everything that I'm doing, I'm building now. You know, I went from like just going from a regular 9 to 5 to building wealth for an eternity. You know, I want to build for the hereafter. I want to build so that I can have like a nice home and a nice happy family in heaven, right? So, you know, after he made me believe that Muslims were terrorists, you know, associating certain words with terrorism, it's my honor to say it is my honor to say Allahu Akbar. In the depths of my soul, God is the greatest.